I'm Simon, I'm a researcher at Wageningen University, and I'm working with aquaponics for already 5 years. So aquaponics is if you grow plants and fish in one system. So the downside is, in the one-loop aquaponic systems, that the concentration, nutrient concentration in the plant part is mainly too low and the fish part too high. So that's why we developed a four-loop system. The four-loop system implies that we can control the nutrient concentrations and the conditions in each subsystem perfectly. So we have the plant system, the fish system, and we have two additional systems. The one is distillation, so we concentrate the nutrients in the hydroponic system and we dilute the water in the fish system. So the fish are swimming in good conditions and the plants are exposed to high nutrient concentration, which is good for the plants. In addition, we install like bioreactors so we can mineralize the fish poop and make it liquid fertilizers. So many people have been asking, what's the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics? It's quite simple. It uses the same technology, but aquaponics use the fish water as the water source for the plants. So in general, these one-loop aquaponic systems, which means that you just use the aquaculture and the hydroponics, is very simple to maintain. Of course, you need to have some basic knowledge about fish, but still, it's quite simple. However, when you use these multi-loop systems, you have to control the conditions of all subsystems. You have to have knowledge about distillation technology, about hydroponics, about aquaculture, and about bioreactors. So it's very complex, and I would just highly recommend to use this technology in large-scale commercial systems. So while I was doing my PhD, I was wondering, how can you optimize these aquaponic systems? So we've been running into several problems, like you don't have the good yield like which you have for hydroponics. So we were thinking about, okay, there must be some parameters, some factors we can improve. So first of all, we're thinking about remineralizing feces, so the fish poop, to make the fish poop a liquid fertilizer, to make it bioavailable for the plants. And the second part, we're thinking about, okay, how do we solve the nutrient concentration issues? Up to now, we always added like biofertilizers to the hydroponic part. Of course it works, but it's not very economically friendly. So by applying these two technologies, by implementing them into the existing system, we can increase the water use efficiency and the nutrient use efficiency of the systems, which have both economic and social high impact. So right now, this system is more theoretical. We have applied it in Kenya to Kikaboni farm to some degree, but we haven't applied the distillation technology yet. However, we are now building an almost 2-hectare system in the Namib Desert in Namibia, where we will apply all this technology. So we will see to what degree it works, but I expect that we will have some technical challenges, that we will have to look into how to optimize the process. Of course, I'm very convinced it will revolutionize the state-of-art technology up to now, but I still think that there is lots of work ahead to optimize the systems and to optimize the flows within the system. So right now I'm standing here on this bridge in front of Kremlin in Moscow. So the winters here are very harsh, the summers can be very hot. So this system we developed is applicable to many different conditions. So we can set it up here in the suburban region of Moscow, we can set it up in Kenya as Kikaboni, and we can implement it into deserts in Namibia, for example. So the system is made in a way that we can put it in all places all over the world, being nutrient and water efficient. So as you could have seen at Kikaboni farm, it's in a suburban region in Nairobi. It has lots of potential because it can grow food very efficiently. Also, even though it's not a high-tech system, it's a mid to low-tech system, and still produces much more food than conventional farming. So just imagine what you can do with high-tech systems, even much more. But I think it depends on the context where you want to set up these systems. So for Kenya, low and mid-tech systems are optimal because every farmer with low education can use the system, and it can produce much more food for the growing population.
Welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, this is the Farm Journal, and we are out here at Kikaboni farm where Biketi Simiyu is taking us through the application of the aquaponic 4-loop system the farm. Before the break, you were telling us about this amazing product and how it works. But I'm interested to know the cost implication of setting up such a system. Yes, can you break it down to us on that?
If you're driven by passion, you won't realize, you know, the weight of the cost. Okay, like the structure we're standing in, maybe if you want to have this structure, just this one alone, you need about 6 million shillings. Just about 6 million. Yeah, 6 million, that's enough for this structure. It's about that.
Yeah, but
just for only this. No, this is just the hydroponic section.
Yes.
We're not having these basins and the styrofoam and maybe the shed net.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly about 6 million.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there's another part where we saw the fish.
Yeah, like we said, this is a loop. So there are different systems that are interconnected. None exist in isolation. If you eliminate the aqua center, the aquaculture section, the hydroponic section will not do. It will not survive.
Yes.
And if you eliminate the hydroponic area, then aquaculture center will not survive.
Yes.
So they're all, you know, linked together.
Connected.
Yes. So for our hydroponic alone, it's roughly about 6 million. Roughly, it could be more. Yeah, or lower depending on where you'll get your material. You know, we have a lot of funny material you can get, and maybe it's lower, which is not quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there is the aquaculture.
Then we have the aquaculture center. That one cost us about 18 million.
Okay.
About 18 million.
So 18 million and 6 million, that comes to about 24 million.
Yeah, about 24 million. You can have such a system running. These are small scale.
Yes.
Now this is just the smallest scale we are trying, but we are. Yeah, of course we are going. This was basically experimental, but now that we realize it's working, you can see our crops. No single chemical. This is all nitrogen from fish, all right?
Yeah.
Nitrogen from fish, purely organic, 100% organic. Controlling pests here, we use rabbit urine. I told you we have a rabbit. Yeah, we have rabbits.
Yeah.
So, and we have put them in special, you know, modified cages where we collect all their self-cleaning system. So we can collect their droppings aside and collect their urine also. Yeah. So we collect it, we treat it, and we use it
Here to
partly as control the pests, the white flies.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no now. If you
none.
have any
You go get the urine and
fruit
kill
flies or whatever, you just come with your rabbit urine, you spray. It will kill them, and as well, actually not kill them. We don't kill pests. You control them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rabbit urine will control them. It will scare them away because of the false smell and also the chemical content. So they'll go away. They'll keep off. Every time any insects comes and lands on the vegetable,
the smell.
Yeah, the smell, it goes. So the environment is not good for them.
But
so
now
it keeps
for
off.
me who's eating, that is not harmful to me.
No, it's urine. Rabbit urine is medicine. I should give you a glass after this. A glass of rabbit urine.
No, thank you. Now, so the viewer who's watching and is looking at those figures and is thinking, wow, that's a lot of money.
Is it true?
What can you tell them and compare that with the income that you project from such a project?
Yeah. If it's true that you are worried or astonished by the figures, I have some good news for you. Don't be. It pays off. It pays off.
Yes.
Yeah, so eventually you realize if you do it properly, you sit down and get your systems going well, you know, with the proper math, proper science behind it, and proper market, it will pay. As soon as you start producing, it won't last more than a year, depending on the scale of production. Of course, this is an agricultural enterprise, an agricultural venture, so we utilize the economies of scale. You know, the higher your scale of production is, the more the profit margin. So you utilize the economies of scale and you realize the higher they are, the faster you recover your input costs. Yes.
All right. That being the case, you know, even as you're running whatever kind of business you're running, there are challenges that you face. What are some of the challenges that you could highlight that you've faced running this system?
Okay, challenges, because this is a very fast system. It's something that is being introduced not only in the market, but also even in the curricula in the schools. We don't have aquaponics in our universities. We don't have. So it's something new. So of course it comes with many challenges. By the time we master all the operations, of course you have to incur, you know, costs and challenges and all those sorts of things. But right now I can only say Main challenges are scientific challenges of which we are solving, and maybe climate, depending on where you are, but that's what we are trying. The reason why this system came up is because of the adverse conditions. So we cannot use the reason why we invented the system to be our challenge again. So basically, we cannot complain much.
Let me take you back to the cost. After you've set up the system, it's complete, you've put in your investment. What are some of the costs now that you would incur from time to time from running this farming venture?
Maintenance, of course, maintenance. Just like your own house.
Yes.
If you do plumbing, you're building your house and you do a plumbing system, no matter the experts, no matter where you imported your plumber from, you'll have maintenance, you know. This is plumbing. Basically, this is plumbing.
Yes.
Yeah, we have pipes running. We have oxygen pipes and we have water pipes. You can see like those two pipes. We have one, the thick one with a red valve. That's oxygen. Then the green one is a tap, water. So it's plumbing. It's basically, sometimes they could block, all right? They could block. And also the material dam liner, it's a paper, all right? It could get pricked, maybe perforation and overflows. Sometimes it just, joined like this, just area where it's joined section, so you could get overflows. So maintenance, of course. Now it depends on the, degree of failure in the system.
That will now determine what inputs in terms of maintenance that you're going to put in there. And also now there's the maintenance. Is there any other cost that you encounter on the running of this?
Yeah, normal. Of course, you need to buy seeds. Yeah, you need to buy, these are salads, there is not a staple food in Kenya. It's not common food, And again, it's a high value crop and not everyone eats it, all right? It's when we are trying now to encourage people to eat healthy. So you realize you won't find a lot of seed, like for example, the inputs. You won't find a lot of inputs because it's a very new system. So you have to, do homework on, getting your seed and your material and such stuff. So that one can maybe slightly, increase the cost. Yeah, just a little bit, not much.
All right.
Yes, because you have to have all the varieties, different varieties. You cannot just do monocropping in just a single crop. No, you have to be creative and come up with different, crops, different varieties. It's also good for the ecosystem because if you do monocropping again, you reach a point where you will fail. There's a limit for monocropping where everything fails. So you have to, do recycling. Like for instance, what I do here, if this is Raviv Kel on this basin, after harvesting, I won't plant Raviv Kel here. I'll plant maybe pak choy or something else, or Chinese cabbage, all right? So I don't, I do what we call rotational. Yes, rotational. Yes.
All right, so you have maintenance and you have
input
costs.
Yes.
What about labor?
Labor, back to main point where I said we are trying to solve, problems, agricultural problems.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one you don't need a lot of, manpower.
Yes.
You don't need a lot of manpower. The only point where we need a labor force is maybe during transplanting. Yeah, during transplanting because it's tedious. It's quite tedious. You have to sit down and those seeds are microscopic, and you need to hand pick them. There's no better way of doing it. You just need to hand pick them. They're very small.
And it's
if you fold them in your palm, these are like 2,000 seeds, just in a single palm. So you have to hand pick one and drop, because if you drop two, that competition, they won't grow well. So you need to drop one. And you can't waste, because a single seed costs almost 2 shillings. Yes. So you can't just keep throwing away 2 shillings all the time.
So that is when the labor cost comes in.
So that's when now you'll need labor. At least, you have a few people, at least to do, more work. Because if you have one or two alone, they won't do much. Yeah, because, you get tired. Yeah, you have to concentrate. It's like you're in the library, literally.
Would you say it's worth it at the end of the day?
It is worth it. It is worth it. I will encourage people to try. It's worth it. You will enjoy it knowing that you're feeding people the right thing, and it's a system that works. You won't look at it maybe the inputs, your cost of production as a burden. You won't, because at the end of the day it will pay. Yeah, it will pay. That's one thing I want to promise our farmers. But as long as you do it the way it's supposed to be done. Any business, of course, pays. Any business, it doesn't matter which one.
So long as you
any business
the right way.
Pays, but you have to master the skills and the art of doing it. Yes. So if you do it properly, you won't complain.
Join us for the second part of this show coming week as we explore the markets for organic produce and we also conclude this discussion.